right away you say something that actually should be researched, they get extremely aggressive and extremely angry. Once again, proving who the real angry and evil people are on the planet. I'm sorry, just facts is facts. When you don't research anything, we don't study anything, when you don't, your plain level of understanding is what you heard inside of a building from another person speaking to you, and you didn't do any of the research yourself, or you think that that one book is going to give you all the solutions to living through eternity. I'm sorry. It takes a lot more than that, guys. The first thing, you can't debate me unless you show me your passport stamps. That's the first and foremost thing. If you don't have a passport with stamps, I have 3 passport books, 3, and they're all full of stamps. Because every time you run out of pages for stamps, you have to get another book. I've got 3 passport books with stamps in it. That means I've been traveling, and I'm not talking about to poolside resorts. No. Check my timelines. I go out there in the field, guys. I go to these places. I speak to the indigenous people. Not the European people that forced the religion on the indigenous people, but the indigenous people that still understand their true history, their true wisdom and knowledge of where they came from and what their handed down verbal histories are, and also what their recorded histories are as well. And you start to find out, oh wow, that was copied, that was copied, that was copied, that was copied, that was copied. It's plagiarized information. It's not negative, it's just a fact. It's just a fact. Now, the intentions of most people are good. However, when you fall prey to an ideology, such as religious belief systems, you end up becoming a very aggressive person in most cases. If you look at a lot of the reasons why people have died on this planet, the reason why wars have started and why people were murdered, it was over religious beliefs. More people have died over religious beliefs than any other reason on the planet. There's no other reason greater than religious beliefs. I think right underneath that is cancer. And then underneath that is politics. So I spit pure facts, guys. Listen, if you haven't read Aramaic, Hebrew, Aramaic, Hebrew, Arabic, if you haven't studied those languages and histories of those peoples, Akkadian, Babylonian, then you don't know anything. I'm just telling you, you're just regurgitating what you heard your grandparents and your parents told you, and you read about 5 verses in the Bible and you memorized them and you thought you were good to go. I'm sorry, it takes a lot more than that, guys. It just takes a lot more. Let me take you on a tour of some knowledge, okay? Let me take you on a knowledge tour right now, how much work it takes to know what I know. How many books you got to read, how many scriptures you got to study, how many different ancient texts you got to dig into. I'm just going to show you some. I can't even show you all of them because some of it's still in boxes because I just moved into this house. I'm going to show you at least, though, about 60%. First of all, let's take a look at the floor right here, what I've been studying all day. You see this? This is, let me give you an idea of the size. I wear a size 14 foot shoe. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 lengths. So we're talking about close to 90 inches here. This is a pretty big poster. What am I looking at? Let me go down here and show you. This is the genealogy table of the Anunnaki. Do you know how painstaking this is? Do you understand the amount of in-depth work it takes to research enough to be able to put together an entire genealogy based off of cuneiform tablets and ancient text to create this lineage, this genealogy, which actually is the genes of Isis? Do you understand? I don't think some of y'all really understand, man. Like, you don't really understand what this is. Who is Noah? That's Gilgamesh.
Who are the Canaanites? What part of the world did they end up in? Because they didn't stay over there. You guys, listen, man. The amount of research it takes to create this is decades. That's decades right there you're looking at. Decades just to create this. Decades. Decades. Longer than some of y'all have been born, and you memorize 5 verses in the Bible and you think you know everything. You know? Look, I got books. How to Build a Flying Saucer. That's my spare time reading. Guys, what's inside the Bible? The Mahabharata. This, let me give you a size comparison now. I got big hands. Okay, I could pick up a basketball like it's a doggone tennis ball. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A 10-volume set, the Mahabharata. If you're a Christian on this live and you doubt what I'm saying and you haven't read this, you can't debate me. This is 10 times older than the Bible information. Oh, sorry, the Bhagavad Gita. Have you read this yet? No, you haven't. You haven't even read it. You don't even know it exists in the Bible. Of course, the Emerald Tablets. That's the majority of the New Testament. Oh, man. Here goes the Emerald Tablet of Thoth the Atlantean. Let's see what else we got to go here that's in the Bible. I got so much stuff here. Let's see what we got. Oh, the Book of Enoch, which was just so eloquently left out of the Bible, even though the Bible reveres Enoch and his wisdom and his knowledge. But, oh, well, let's leave his book out because he's talking about beings coming down from space and teaching us how to make weapons to go to war against each other. So we'll just leave that right on out of the Bible so they don't find out about that we're attached to this warring race. Oh, have you read the Code of Hammurabi? Also makes up the Old Testament in the Bible. The Code of Hammurabi. You haven't read this yet. They won't ever teach this to you in Bible study. You won't come across this information. You know why? Because they want you to think everything happened 6,000 years ago, max, and that people were writing the book, the Bible, in real time. Didn't happen, guys. The Bible was written in modern times, 100 AD to 900 AD. What else we got over here that's in the Bible? The Nag Hammadi scripts. Some of this content made it into the Bible as well. The Nag Hammadi. Yeah. Very interesting perspectives there in the Nag Hammadi, because they reveal that the followers of Christianity are actually worshiping Satan without knowing about it. What else we got here? Power for his voice. What else is in this? Another good book to read, though, by my late great friend who just recently passed last year, The Anunnaki of Nibiru, Gerald Clark, the late great Gerald Clark. Bless his soul. Let me see what else we got. I got to go all over. I got books. I got over 1,000 books in this house. I have to go around the entire house to do this. Let's take a journey, guys. Step over my. Y'all think I'm. You think I just sitting around in a robe on a prepaid track phone making stuff up? You think I don't know what I'm talking about? What's this right here? Size perspective, by the way. The Egyptian Book of the Dead. This is my copy that I keep wrapped in plastic. The other one I use and open and mark up. This one includes the papyrus of Ani. A lot of the proverbs come from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. A lot of the quotes that are in the New Testament come from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. And the story of a man being born of a virgin birth, sorry guys, started with Horus in Egypt. You got to do some research. What do we got up here on this shelf? The Cryptic Code of the Templars, Exo Vaticana, Books of Enoch. More content left out of the Bible in reference to Enoch himself. Another great read here. Let me pull this down here. Y'all gonna make me tap into my whole damn library. You see this? This is the stuff I study and research for 40 years. I can quote the Bible, scripture, page by page. I've read the Bible over 100 times, more than any Christian has ever read the Bible. I can read hieroglyphs. I taught hieroglyphs in Egyptian mystery school. I mean, come on, man. You guys, man, listen. There's levels to this game. There's levels. Look what we got over here. The Zen Masters of Japan. The Complete Apocrypha. Here we go. Ooh, now we talking. The Complete Apocrypha. Do you know what that is? These are all the books that were accidentally on purpose left out of the modern day Bible. That tell you a much more full story of everything that happened and that they didn't want you to know about. That they said, you know what, these are good, but let's just leave these on the outside because, you know, if they read these scriptures, they're probably not going to believe our system that we're putting in place here. Yeah, this is the Complete Apocrypha. The complete, and I've gone through this at least 50 times. Great study and research material. I'm well versed in all this biblical stuff, so whenever somebody comes at me, oh, you're trying to put down Christians, actually not. I'm trying to get to the truth. I'm trying to get to the truth. And the truth is not in the book that you're worshiping out of and studying. Well, you barely study. You read a couple of verses here and there, and then you kick your feet up and watch the world burn because you feel the infidels will suffer on this planet while you're raptured away to some magical heaven. Sorry, guys, not going to happen. Classic right here. I just did a podcast with Eric Von Daniken yesterday. I can't wait for that to come out. The Tao. Oh, here goes my original copy of Chariots of the Gods. This is 50 years old. Anyway, let me go upstairs and go to some of these other books. Finish these biblical verses. Oh, while I'm down here, I might as well go ahead and do this. Let's see here. Get this. Oh, here we go. Turn this on. Y'all done awoken a sleeping giant over here. I just mind my business writing movies. That's what I was doing over here. How do you turn this thing on? No signal. I guess it's been off so long, I got to get some power to this thing. Or maybe the battery's dead on this. Press 2. There goes the volume. I want to show y'all something real quick. Apple TV. Let me go to Roku. I think the Apple TV is powered off. Only the power went down earlier from that construction site. Let me go over here to a different one for y'all real quick. Roku. Forbidden Knowledge TV. You want some real knowledge? You want to learn the stuff that you haven't been getting taught properly? Come over here on Forbidden Knowledge TV and get some real knowledge. Not the fake knowledge, not the play knowledge, not the half thought through knowledge to keep them happy and keep them paying money every week, but the real knowledge.
In the Americas, where scientists will find answers that explain the origins of an entire civilization.
It was the biggest adventure of my life.
I've been there. Have you?
Secrets of the Dead was made possible in part by the corporation Foundation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from view.
Guys, get on Forbidden Knowledge TV. I got a lot of great content up there. Now I'm going to take you upstairs. Oh, let me stop over here real quick. Check this out. Philomath. I just got this book. Philomath. This is by Robert Edward Grant. I'm doing a workshop with him about the secrets encoded in the pyramids, specifically the Great Pyramid. This book is phenomenal. It's a whole new language here of mathematics. It's already a bestseller on Amazon. And just one day it went to bestseller. The first day it jumped out and went to bestseller the first day. Philomath, Robert Edward Grant. Get yourself a copy. I'm enjoying this book already. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. It's going to enhance my music it's going to take my music to the next level because music is based off of mathematics. I'm having a great time with this content. Philomath. Let's go upstairs, man. Y'all, let me get some more of these books. If somebody presents information to you that goes against what you've been taught, why get angry? Why not just ask questions? Why not say, you know what? Damn, this guy's got a pretty big account. He's been all over the world. He's been on a lot of TV shows. Maybe he does know something. Let me ask him, why do you say this, Mr. Carson, why did you say this was plagiarized? I'm just curious. You know what I would tell you? I say it's plagiarized because the content was copied on different parchment papers. Little by little, only small amounts of it was actually copied, not all of it. Very, very small amounts of stories and added to parchment papers. And then later on, people came around and said, you know what? We can put these together and make it into a canonized book. But when they did that, they added some of their own inflections, changed things around, and added some additional content to it that had nothing to do with the original content. So they plagiarized old content and mixed it with new content. They took truths and mixed them with lies. And that's what you get. And that's why there's no power in that religion. Zero. Let me see what we got over here. Seventh Planet Mercury Rising, late great Gerald Clark. In this book, a lot of information in the New Testament as well, from different scriptures, the Emerald Tablets primarily, Sumerian tablets, all referenced. Okay, another amazing book that you can get great insight from. This this is in my guest bedroom so that people can have something to read when they come over here instead of just zoning out on TV. Great book here, Eternal Sunshine by Londrell. Anyway. Anything over here? Let me see. No, not really on that stack. Let's look over here, see what else we got here. Which one is this? No. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, here we go. The Tibetan Book of the Living and Dying. Proverbs. Oh, the majority of the Old Testament. Here you go, right here. Separating the waters from the waters and all that stuff. Yeah, it's all right in here. The Enuma Elish. The Enuma Elish. The 7 tablets of creation. It's in here. This predates everything by tens of thousands of years. Tens of thousands of years. And then miraculously made its way into the biblical text. And no, it wasn't written by Moses. Moses didn't write anything. Let me say that to you again. Moses didn't write anything. Joseph and Judas and and Mary and John and Peter and Paul. They wrote nothing. Those people wrote not one thing. You understand what I'm telling you? The followers of Jesus, the actual, let me get this back in here, right? They were actually illiterate. They couldn't write. They teach you that in seminary. The Bible was a culmination of different scriptures discovered in different caves over hundreds of years, long after everybody was already dead, written by the Phoenicians, followers of Hermes, Thoth. The followers of this guy wrote the Bible, the original text. It became the Sinai Bible. The Sinai Bible predates the King James Bible by hundreds of years. And there's 14,000 different phrases in there where it shows that the King James Bible is mostly mistranslated text, mistranslated by accident on purpose. Tibetan Book of the Dead. So you have the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying and the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Also makes up a lot of the Bible. You're talking about 40,000-year-old text. People, you guys got a lot to learn. The Akashic Records. Let's see what else we got here. Qigong. That's real science right there. Let me see. Oh, yeah. You can't read that. You don't know. Yeah, okay. Cuneiform. What's this book about? Let's see what I've been studying here. Oh, how to read Sumerian, how to read Akkadian. Wow, that's what this book is about? This is just one of the many books I have on cuneiform. If you don't have a book on how to read cuneiform, and you don't know the age and the dating of cuneiform tablets, again, you can't debate with me. You can't debate with me. You just can't. Let me come over here. What we got over here? The Tao Te Ching. That's amazing right there. I got my survival book here. Somebody's on the moon. Valiant Thor from Venus. Message to Earth. Venusian Science Secrets. Real stuff. But where's that other book I had there? Raw. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I know where it's at. Come walk with me. Let's go to my meditation room. This is where I meditate, get my free massages. Got my levitating orbs. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what we got here. The Quest for Hermes Trismegistus. Oh, that's Thoth. New Testament content. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes. Totally different tablet than the ones of the Emerald Tablets. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes. More New Testament content, by the way. Okay. What else we got over here? The Hermetica. More content in the Bible. The Way of Hermes. More Bible content. What else we got? Buddhist wisdom. Oh, scientific facts in the Bible. Oh yeah, I studied the Bible inside and out. That's why you can't debate me, because I know a lot more than the average Christian knows. Because why? I break this Bible down into different languages. See? Oh yeah. This ain't new. This is old. Very old. I've been going in on this for a long time, guys. What that date say? July 1st, 1998. That's when I got this one. And this one has been gone through over 100 times. Researched inside out, upside down, back and forth. I don't leave nothing out. I go through everything. I go through everything thing. I want all the information. I want all the knowledge. I don't want some of it. I don't want what makes me feel good on Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning. I want all of it. I want to hear everything. I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I want to find all the sources. Battle of the Anunnaki, Pleiadian gods. Where's my Quran at? Here it goes. Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah, the Quran. Yeah, I go in this. Deep. Been through this at least 50 times already. I want all the information. All of it. Not half of it. Not some of it. Not a piece of it. I want all of it. And people are running around here basing their eternity off of this one book. They're basing eternity off of this one book. And yet, if I get them on an Instagram live right now and say, well, tell me, you love Jesus? Oh, I love him. I love him so much. Okay, really? Well, what happens if you don't love him? What happens if you don't pray to him and worship him and all this other kind of stuff? I'm going to get cast into a lake of fire. Oh, really? Lake of fire. So is this more self-preservation or is it actually real love? It sounds more like you're just trying to cover your ass. It doesn't sound like you love anybody to me. The Kabbalah. Real science, guys. Real science. More Old Testament stuff right here, by the way. Okay? Alan Watts is dope. The rest of the stuff is in boxes in this closet on my right-hand side, as I'm still trying to find creative places to put them around the house. Because like I said, this time I decided that I didn't want to have all the books in one place. I wanted to spread the knowledge around everywhere so that no matter where I was always surrounded by knowledge. That was my game plan. Let me go in here. This is my bedroom. So, no, that's not it. Some light in here. Put these lights on. What we got here? Oh, there we go. I gotta buy another one of these because I tore it the other day when I was reading it. I tore a little rip in it. I don't like that. When I have ripped books, then I just buy another copy. They tore it right here. A little rip. I don't like that. Once I do that, then I just get another copy. And I'll keep the other copy fresh. But this is learning to read what? Ancient Sumerian. How many pastors have this book? How many pastors are reading Sumerian text out there? How many? Is this going on in Bible study? Is this happening? Tell me what Bible study is showing you how to read Sumerian. I don't think they're doing it, guys. You know why? Because then you're going to start reading the tablets. And when you start reading the tablets and you find out the age of these tablets, you're going to be like, what the hell are we learning in here? Because all this stuff is ancient. And you're making it sound like somebody just talked about this 2,000 years ago. Oh my goodness, man. We got to break out of this damn spell that we're under. We are literally under a massive spell. And it's called religion. Snap out of it, guys. Snap the hell out of it. There is a God. I believe that God exists. Not the one in that book, though. That ain't no God. There is no God in the Bible. Let me say that for you one more time. God exists. God exists. Because why? The mathematics and the physics proves it. You know, I got to give my shout out to my own books. Quantum physics proves that God exists. It proves that there's a creator, not a he, that there is a creator or creators. Divine entities program this entire matrix that we're living in. But they're not inside here with us. They're on the outside. They're not in here. They are not in here with us. Just like if I have an ant farm, like when I was a kid, I had an ant farm. Had a whole lot of ants in there, right? Let me just sit down here in my loft. I had a whole lot of ants in my ant farm. And so I would look at the ants. I'm on the outside of the ant farm. I could shake up their environment, their whole universe. I can mess up the sand. I can add sand, take away sand. I could put food in, take away food. From their perspective, I'm God to them. I control their entire environment. Now, on an individual level, I do not care what one ant does in there, what one ant thinks of another ant. I don't care which ant is angry at another ant because that ant didn't let him mate with the queen, or he dropped one of the pieces of food that was going to be fed to the babies and so forth. I'm not concerned about that, but I'm observing. You see, we're under the delusion in this third dimension that there's an entity with a male name, a male gender, wearing some type of white robe with a magic wand that's watching everything that we do and is actually concerned about whether you win a basketball game, whether you win a football game, whether your team wins, whether you win a war. In other words, how good you can kill somebody else. People pray before they go to kill people. They don't even know these people. They're going to kill people. They're praying, and they actually think that something has something to do with it. People win awards for rap music and different songs that talk about taking drugs, Percocets and heroin and all these other kind of cocaine. They rap about these songs and they get everybody else on them, getting drunk and getting wasted. And then they get on stage when they win an award for these songs and they go, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now, use some logic. Use some logic. Take your emotions away. Do you really think that Jesus Christ or God gives two shits about you winning an award, talking about raping women and drinking Percocets and snorting cocaine? People believe this. You see, the problem with religion is this. You've been taught that all you have to do is beg for forgiveness and everything is wiped away. So it doesn't give you accountability for your evil and wrongdoings. There's no accountability. You can blame your wrongdoings on the devil, and then you can beg for forgiveness and get a fresh slate. And so by that method, you're perpetually living in a state of demonic enticement. And you don't even realize it. You're just conveniently blaming everything on this devil entity. And then, I just can call out the name of Jesus and ask for forgiveness, and I'm back to square one again. Back to doing my dirt 2 weeks later. It's like people take their New Year's resolution to go work out in the gym, and then 2 weeks into the new year, they put the weights down and start eating pies and cakes again. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Now, am I against prayer? No, but there's a way to pray. I teach this in my workshops, in my classes. The way that people are praying now has no power. Zero power. And I do mean zero. Absolute zero. And I can prove it to anybody. You bring me the most religious person on this planet. You bring me the Pope. You bring me anybody. Get them in front of me. Let's go down into an alley where there's homeless people. Now I want that Pope to pray at the top of his lungs and with all his might and power and force that put some brand new shoes on that person and put some food in that person's stomach. And then we're going to sit back and we're going to watch the clock tick away. And then I'm going to show you the divine power in me, in my own self, in my own consciousness. And I'm going to go in a store and I'm going to buy some food, some socks, some shoes, and some clothes, and maybe even get them a hotel coupon and get them off the street for the night. See, action creates salvation, not begging these outside exterior deities. It starts on the inside. It starts with something called unconditional love inside of every single human being. That's where salvation comes from. Being born again has nothing to do with getting water splashed on your face and on your head and dunking your baby in a damn tub of water. That's dumb. What salvation and what being born again really is when you go to a higher level of consciousness. So when you can look back on your previous thought patterns and realize that they were lower than where you are now, you've been born again. And you'll be born again many times in the same lifetime. You can be born again many times in the same lifetime because there's higher and higher levels of consciousness. It's an ascension process. It's an ascension process. Dunking yourself in a pool of water and dunking yourself in the beach and all this kind of stuff, eating the flesh of a man and drinking his blood and all these kind of crazy things. I'm going to make a post about this. I'm going to show you a voodoo ritual of people jumping around and doing all those dances at the voodoo ritual and drinking blood from chickens and all that. And then I'm going to show you a Pentecostal church, all the jumping and dancing and all the and drinking all the blood and drinking the wine as blood and all this kind of stuff. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. It's all voodoo. It's all rituals. All of it. It's all pagan, whatever name you want to, whatever terminology you want to give it. Anytime you're relying on exterior sources for salvation, you fail. You fail. There's 85.9% of the world is religious. 85.9% of 7.7 billion people. And those people are making multiple prayers every single day. Every single day, from morning till the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. They're praying over dumb stuff like candy bars, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure. They're praying over soul food, collard greens, cornbread, mashed potatoes, ham hocks, ribs, steak. Do you think that prayer, do you really believe in the power of prayer? Do you think that when you pray over a plate of food like that it's going to actually be healthy for your body? No, you still get the diabetes and the heart attacks. You still get the cancer. You still get it. How come that is? Why? If the prayer is so powerful, how come you're still getting the cancer? How come you're still getting the diabetes and the high blood pressure? Have you ever seen these people coming out of some of these churches? They're all weigh like 500 pounds because all they focus on is eating. That's the big thing. Selling more plates of this cancer at the church. You're going to pray over it. And then what's going to happen at the end? You think that you're actually going to get healthy from eating this stuff? I see people praying over cookies and candy and praying over candy bars. Are you kidding me? Do you think that there's some kind of deity up in space with a robe and a magic wand going, oh, I'm going to bless that candy bar because they just gave an offering. They just prayed to me about this candy bar. This isn't going to give them any cancer or diabetes. This isn't going to make them fat. Come on, guys. We have been running around doing the most dumb stuff. Just based on basic logic. The Lord's Prayer in the Bible, where did that come from? That comes from Egypt. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, and we forgive our debtors. But lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever and ever. Amen. You don't think I know these prayers? I know them all. I know every single one of them. That's the prayer of Ptah. That's Enki's prayer. He taught that to his sons. Oh, that was about 100,000 years ago. Come on, man. Y'all got to wake up, man. The 21st Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy follow me all the day of my life, and I dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. You don't think I know this stuff? I'm like a robot. My brain remembers everything. I got a photographic memory. I know all this stuff. So guys, listen to me. Where'd that prayer come from? What Christian can tell me where that prayer came from? The 21st Psalm. They can't. They can't tell me. They can't tell me because they don't even know where it came from. And no, it didn't come from The Bible. No, didn't come. What was Jesus' brother's name? What was his occupation? You start asking questions like that. Some people might know, but a lot of people start freezing up. They start having a meltdown. They don't know. You love him so much, you're basing eternity off of this fella, but you don't know anything about him. Where was Jesus from the age of 12 to 32? Where was he? Where was he? Where was Jesus from the age of 12 to 32? Somebody type it in the comment box. Where was he? Where did he exist? Where was he? Where was he located on this planet from age of 12? Name me the exact countries he went to. Somebody said Jewish carpenter. Good job, Michael. Okay, thanks, Chris. He was in Egypt. Somebody got some knowledge. He was in Egypt. At 12, he went to Egypt to an area called Coptic Cairo with a C, C-O-P-T-I-C, Coptic Cairo, where the cross already long existed, long before Christianity even came into existence. Jesus was not a Christian because Christianity didn't exist. Christ consciousness existed, and there had been many Christs that had walked the planet long before Yeshua, because his name isn't Jesus. I'm only saying Jesus to make you guys understand who I'm talking about. The name is Yeshua, okay? And so the house that he lived in is a shrine. I've been to the house several times. It's in Coptic Cairo. The bed he slept in is still there in the basement crypt area. It's still there. The name is engraved in the windowsill. Him and his mom both went there and lived there. While he was there, what did he do? What did Jesus do? He went to go study the Egyptian mysteries. Yeah. The Egyptian mysteries taught by who? Thoth. T-H-O-T-H. The king of knowledge and wisdom. Tahuti, by many names, you know him, by many names. Kukulkan, Viracocha, by many, many names around this planet. Thor, Mercury, same person. So he went there to learn the Egyptian mysteries. He became an adept initiate into the ancient Egyptian mysteries, by the way. An adept initiate, handpicked adept initiate, and went in deep there. Once he learned the Egyptian mysteries and all the esoteric wisdom and metaphysics, where'd he go next? Tibet. He went to Tibet to learn Reiki healing with his hands, Qigong, and all those arts. He got accepted by the Tibetan monks. But see, they don't teach you this in Bible study. You'll never hear this in Bible study. You'll never hear this. You got to read the Gospel of the Holy 12 on your own because they're never going to pull it out in church. You know why? They don't even know it exists. They don't even know the Gospel of the Holy 12 even exists. Then after he left Tibet, where did he go? Where did he go? Now, any Christians on here, guys, you're basing your eternity off of loving this guy, but you don't even know nothing about him. He left Tibet and he went to India to learn the mystic arts. Yeah, mystic arts. The stuff that now Christians call demonic and evil. No, he went to learn the mystic arts. So everything that he went and studied from the age of 12 to 32 to make him who he was, now if you go to church and talk about these things, they kick you out of, they excommunicate you from the church because they say you're worshiping the devil. After he left India, what did he do? He taught reincarnation all the way back down into Egypt along the way. Reincarnation. Yeah, just like Thoth teaches reincarnation. And the ability to ascend to a high level to where you can incarnate at will. Thoth says he can even incarnate in and on the plane he desires. He can incarnate in a multidimensional status. He can go to different dimensions. In and on and at will. At will, he can transfer consciousness into another avatar body. At will. This is what Jesus was learning. And so that's why when you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and in my book, Compendium of the Emerald Tablets, I put Thoth's verses right next to Yeshua's verses in the modern day Bible. So you can see that Yeshua was just quoting Thoth the Atlantean, his teacher. That's what he was doing. He was quoting the words of his own teacher, his master. Because the Emerald Tablets were written 36,000 years ago. So which came first, the chicken or the egg?
See, y'all, you think you have a little bit of knowledge, but then you realize if you drop your ego, you realize you don't know anything. A lot of you don't even know. You have no clue. I put 40 years in. Over 1,000 books, scriptures, cylinder scrolls, tablets, cuneiform, papyruses, traveling the world, meeting with indigenous cultures, meeting with sages, meeting with elders, meeting with homegrown archaeologists and homegrown guides in these jungles, hiking 37 miles through the jungles of Cambodia to temples, doing the Inca Trail, 3-day hike through the jungles, flying over the Nazca lines, going to all these places all around the world, in person, climbing up the Grand Gallery into the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid. Guys, there's a lot to learn out here, but you're not going to get it staying inside of your zip code. And so if you can't travel, you can't get out and do these things, there's so much research material out here, but research goes deeper than watching somebody on YouTube and doing a Google search with your fingers, a 2-second Google search. Oh, I know everything now. No, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. Show me the passport stamps. Get me a pastor that has the passport stamps that I have that can match me up passport to passport. Let's sit down and let's talk. Let's have an open discussion. The limit of his knowledge is always going to fall back on what the biblical text is. The only thing I've done this so many times, that's why I know. I've done this. I did this in person with somebody just a couple of weeks ago. They fall back on scriptures and they start quoting scriptures again. That's the height of their knowledge. They don't have anything past that. So all they can do is keep falling back on what they already have. But see, I got the Bible, I got the Quran, but I got everything that those books came from. And I studied them intently and researched them. I even have the Hebrew. Let me find it. Where's my book on Hebrew? This in here? It's facts. And I got so much stuff. I be going in, guys. Y'all have no idea. Herbal medicine. It must be in that other room. Let's see what we got here. Tolsky Crater. I got so much stuff. I got books downstairs inside of my other part of the office that I didn't even show you. But anyway, regardless, the fact of the matter is this. We got too many people that don't want to humble themselves. And unfortunately, the majority of those people are in religions. And so if you're in a religion, and you've been in it all your life, and your grandparents and so forth and so on, all the way down the pipeline, and you come across some information that doesn't match what you've been taught, why do you get so angry? Why do you get so aggressive? Is that what's in your teachings? Actually, it is. See, if you read the book of Deuteronomy, ask any Christian person to give you a summary of the book of Deuteronomy. You know what they're going to say? I haven't read it yet. They're never going to teach you the book of Deuteronomy in Bible study. You're not going to hear any preachers talking about it. In the Bible, where you see the word God, everywhere in the entire Bible where you see God, G-O-D, singular, mistranslation. Go back to the original text. It's God's with an S. They took the S off to bring in the mindset of monotheism, the one God mindset. The one God mindset. That's why Akhenaten was kicked out of Egypt, Pharaoh Akhenaten. He was listening to Amun-Ra, who was one of these gods with an S, lowercase g, by the way, not real gods, not the creator of the universe gods. He told Akhenaten, he demanded that he go around and start defacing all of the other gods of Egypt across anywhere he can reach, his men can reach. He started going around and slashing off the faces, the ears, the nose, chipping away at all the bodies of all the hieroglyphs of any other gods with an S across the land where they ruled. That's why when you go to Egypt, you see everything chipped away in a lot of these tombs and places where there's a lot of glyphs. A lot of it's been chipped away. Anything from the time of Akhenaten
That's how you can date them. They have been damaged. It wasn't because white people didn't know that black people existed in Egypt. That's the ongoing myth. When you look at the date of these things, white people hadn't even appeared in Egypt at the time that these things were already chipped away. They were chipped away by Akhenaten, a black pharaoh. He ordered it to be done. Under his orders from Amun-Ra, also known as Marduk, which is in the Bible and the Jewish Torah. But you won't read that either. You just won't read that. You didn't even know Marduk was in the Bible. But anyway, so he goes around destroying all this stuff, and the people are like, this guy's destroying our history. We got to get him the hell out of here. Akhenaten is actually Moses, the real Moses. That's who Akhenaten was. He had a huge elongated head. His daughters had huge elongated heads, and so did his wife. So he had created this following of people that were believing in his one God mindset that he was ushering in under the rule of Amun-Ra, the Aten, the sun disk. And so when he was kicked out of Egypt, his followers fled with him. And they were free to go as the new pharaoh allowed them to leave. However, where he messed up was, well, he didn't really mess up, where they got them a lot of them killed. He went into the Great Pyramid and he said, I'm taking the Ark of the Covenant with me. Because the stone box inside of the king's chamber in the Great Pyramid is actually the same exact dimensions of the Ark of the Covenant. And the Ark of the Covenant was technology. It was put there because it generated immense power. We know this because people and universities in America have replicated the Ark of the Covenant based on simple instructions that are in the Bible. And they created so much power, they had to shut them down because they were creating sparks and draining the energy grid and everything else. So this is well-documented information. He took the Ark of the Covenant with him, which turned off the main power source of the Great Pyramid, which turned off the jet pillars, which were used to power the wireless electricity around the region. So the pharaoh said, oh my God, this guy took our power source. Chase him down and get it back. They didn't cross the Red Sea. That's a myth, another myth in the Bible, which has been known for now many, many decades. That's a mistranslation, but they just won't change it. Just live and think it's the Red Sea. He crossed the Sea of Reeds, a much smaller and nearby sea, much easier to cross, by the way. And when you do a geological rewind, we can now do geological rewind. So we can actually do computer simulations, modeled simulations based off of how many years we want to go back in time and tectonic plate movement, and we can calculate which regions had massive earthquakes and in what time periods. And so we come up with the time period of around Akhenaten's fleeing out of Egypt with the Ark of the Covenant, crossing the Sea of Reeds. Around that same time period, there's a massive earthquake which can cause a tsunami. What happens with tsunamis? They suck the water directly out of the river, the lake, the stream, or even the shore of an ocean, allowing anyone to walk on dry land for quite some time. I have an amazing one that I posted on Forbidden Knowledge account about 4 or 5 years ago, where people were walking around on dry ocean bed for about a good 3 or 4 hours before the water came back. Then the water comes crashing back and kills a lot of the soldiers from the pharaoh. The Sea of Reeds, guys, not the Red Sea. Let's get it right. Let's start getting the truth out there and not these falsehoods that keep getting passed around from generation to generation. And people have been crying and snot crying and carrying on thinking all this stuff is real. And a lot of it's actually poorly mistranslated, and some on purpose. Some on purpose, okay? It's just so much, man. I mean, I can ramble on this topic for years. Absolute years I can go off on this because I just know too much. And it's all based on actual facts. Everything I'm telling you can be looked up. I'm not, see, the difference between me and religion is blind faith. Talk off the top of your head, make stuff up, and make people feel good on the inside with no backed up information, no scientific facts. Me, I take your same book and I break it all the way down, analyze it from head to toe, top to bottom, break the words down into their root words, take them back into their original languages, back into Hebrew, back into Aramaic, Which parts came from Mesopotamia? How many of these came from cuneiform tablets? Let's analyze those tablets. Let's break those down now. Are these Akkadian? Are these Babylonian? Let's break into that now. Let's get to that level. Oh, okay. And where were these sources coming from? Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. That's real research. That's dedication. That's, like the Bible says, study to show thyself approved. Don't maybe start quoting these Bible scriptures on you now. Study to show thyself approved. My people die from a lack of knowledge. It's all in there. They left a couple of nuggets in there to like kind of slap you. Somebody left a couple of nuggets in there, but they don't see that. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. Not up there, not in the sky. Inside of you. There's no sky daddy out there with a magic wand blessing you to get a house. I'm in this house. This house costs $1 million. I'm in $1 million house. You think that God gave me this house? You think that there's some entity out there going, oh, you know, Billy, he deserved this house. We're going to go ahead and give him this mansion. Meanwhile, if I drive out of this neighborhood and go for 20 minutes down the road, I'm going to see a homeless guy on the corner begging for free change. That guy could have a greater heart than me. And he's on the corner, sleeping outside. Thankfully, this is Florida where it's nice and warm. He could be in damn Detroit, Ohio, or Northern California someday, and we're freezing his butt off. Wisconsin. How about those homeless people that are freezing to death every single night? Some die. They don't wake up in the morning because they're frozen. But God gave me this mansion. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? But this guy right down the street here, he's having a heat stroke out there trying to ask for 10 cents every hour. Doesn't make any sense, guys. You're misconstruing the messages. You're misconstruing what's going on. And you're taking and giving props to deities that you know nothing about. You don't even know that it's multiple gods being talked about in that book. There is no book on this planet that is talking about the creator of the universe, except the math book. That's the closest you're going to get, because the divine language of God is mathematics. That's as close as you're going to get is mathematics. That's the close you're going to get if you want to hear the words of God. That's the absolute closest you're going to get. Other than that, there's no book. The gods of the Bible are the Netiru from ancient Egypt. The Netiru, according to the Egyptian text, they came down from heaven and they turned mud into a kingdom. These are the Atlantean Anunnaki people, advanced beings that ruled over this planet for hundreds of thousands of years. They were 1 million years ahead of us technologically and spiritually, making it very easy for them to masquerade as gods. Masquerade. It's called, what humanity is on this planet, we're a gigantic cargo cult. We fell for the okie doke. Right now, today, if one of these beings come down from space and lands, people are going to fall to their knees and start praying right away to that guy, to a flesh and blood being that can get cut open and guillotined just like any one of us. You're going to start praying right away. Cargo cults. When a more advanced civilization meets a less advanced civilization, the advanced civilization becomes deified. That's why a lot of these advanced civilizations have something called a prime directive. Do not interfere with this civilization. They're not ready for us yet. We can influence them in ways that will destroy their growth, their conscious growth. It already happened. The Anunnaki violated that, and they wrote about it. They actually wrote about it. They said that what we did here was so bad and so wrong that we're gonna have to answer to the creator of all. So even they knew that there's a creator. But they told the people on the planet they were God. And they ruled over different regions of the planet. And if they were in those different regions, they were the God of that region. And in the book of Deuteronomy, they were going to war against each other, using human beings as the chattel, like we do today. Read the book of Deuteronomy. God says, go to thy neighbor. This is some town halfway across the damn region.
kill the women, kill the children. And it even says, if you see a virgin, you can rape the virgin. If you want to, keep her as your wife. Now we have breaking and entering into their gates. We have manslaughter, murder, first degree. We have child abuse. We have rape. Then we have abduction. That's God speaking. Now tell me, is that the creator of your universe? Because that's not the creator of my universe speaking. Not mine. Not my universe. Not my universe. Angels getting drunk and having sex and having anal sex with other men and all kind of stuff. It's all in the Bible. Those ain't angels. Those are people, man. Those are people. People from Atlanta. I mean, Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood and Atlanta existed back in the day. It's the same old stuff. This stuff that's going on now with all this gender stuff, it's not new. It's old. This stuff been going on for eons. Eons. I'm not surprised by any of this stuff. It's normal. I've seen it so many times. This stuff is not new. People keep going, this is the new age agenda. They're trying to make us do this and that. No, man. Read a book. This stuff ain't no new age agenda. This is ancient agenda. This has been going on since the beginning. The very, very beginning. Read the Sumerian tablets. The Sumerian tablet, 450,000 years ago, one of these guys is having sex with his sister. Then he decides, well, I can't have an orgasm inside the vagina. I got to pull out because that wouldn't be too good. I mean, then they're trying one other scripture in the text. These are on stone tablets. They're going down the river, and they see these humans. And the guy goes over and just takes them and starts having sex with them. This isn't tablets, man. Everything from homosexuality and bestiality and all this stuff, it's all in these tablets. All of it. This is ancient stuff. There's nothing new. Politicians and politricks is what I call it. What we have here in America and all around the world and in the G8 countries or whatever. That's all come from Mesopotamia. The Sumerian tablets laid this out 10,000 years ago. They installed the bicameral Congress and politicians. That's where that started. That whole thing started from there. Meanwhile, they maintained their own different type of structure for their kingship and how they ruled. They had something called they had a numeric pantheon system. The pantheon didn't start in Greece. It started in Mesopotamia. And so they had a pantheon numeric system, and based on your number was the level you were on the totem pole, so to speak. But they gave humans the bicameral Congress, the left wing and the right wing concept, because they were smart. Make them fight each other so they don't fight us. That was installed on this planet 10,000 years ago. Did you know that? They gave us inflation 10,000 years ago. We found the tablets. What I'm telling you is all factual. We found over 1 million tablets, stone tablets, which were little IOUs, like we have dollar bills in our pockets. Well, they had little stone IOUs. A guy with an apple orchard would go over to a guy who had a goat farm, and he would say, "Hey, here's 2 satchels of apples. Let me have a goat," and he would trade and go. The next time he comes, the guy's got a shortage on goats because it's some kind of ritualistic holiday that the Anunnaki done made up, so people start killing the goats and draining the blood, so that it's just food for them, because they're not going to go hunting. You're bringing them their dinner is what you're doing. You didn't even realize it. That's what you guys were doing, bringing them their food. But anyway, you come back because it's a holiday. There's shortage of goats. The guy goes, "Well, here's my 2 apples. Give me an IOU from a goat." So the guy with the goat farm gives you an IOU on a little stone tablet. You walk away with it. Now you got to have these goats. You come back. The guy goes, "Well, this is not worth a goat anymore. It's a supply and demand. That stone you got is only worth a half a goat. I give you a half a goat. You need 2 of these to get a whole goat now." Inflation, 10,000 years ago, installed already on the planet. This system is ancient. This isn't no new stuff. This is ancient stuff, man. This is ancient. All this stuff is old. This is old news, just being acted on over and over again, and just continuing to flow in the system that was created. When Enlil built this system,
He said in the stone tablets, he was building a system that will remain on this planet for all time. For all time. He told his sister Ninmah, this system will remain for all time. That's how powerful he knew it was. He was an ordainer of destiny. He knew how to create ripples in the space-time continuum that can alter the future reality of the third dimension on this planet for humans, and he did it. But you'll never know that until you pick up a book and start reading and start studying some of this stuff. The Epic of Atlantis, which is probably in one of the boxes in my closet, the Epic of Atlantis. They're never going to read that to you in church. 6,000 years older than the Bible. But again, separated the waters from the waters, and how the planet was formed, and how the grass came to be, and the beasts of the field, and the whole thing, the whole story's there. It's all copied, guys. It's all copied from these ancient tablets. All of it. So don't get mad when I post something that goes against your little belief system. Because I'm not being nasty or mean. I'm presenting to you alternative information that you should say, you know what? Let me have a little bit of courage and research this. Why don't you get a little courage? Stop being a worrier and become a warrior. Stop being a worrier and become a warrior. We need more warriors out here. People that are not afraid of every little thing that comes up that they find out about that goes against what their belief systems are. If you're so heavy into belief systems and ideologies, then forbidden knowledge is not the account for you. We're all about tearing down ideologies and belief systems. We're all about unlearning so that we can relearn. That's what we're about. It's about seeing the world in a whole totally new and different way. The way that it's supposed to be seen, with real open eyes. Not the way that it is now, where we're walking around like blind mice, bumping into each other in broad daylight. Don't even know where we're going or what the heck we're doing. Just living moment by moment, waiting for the wave of time to crash over us so we can realize what moment we're in, instead of surfing the wave and living life at a higher dimension and understanding and seeing things from a different perspective 24/7 at all times. Seeing the future before the future happens. I meditate on future realities. They're called superpositions in quantum physics. And I understand that based off of a decision that I make now, I can envision a decision that I would make, and I can project that decision into the future, and I can see the outcome of that decision. And so I do these things, these thought experiments, and I project different decisions into the future. And then when I get a decision that I like, that I want to bring into my reality tunnel, I put energy and consciousness behind that particular superposition, and I shift it into my reality. And I'm my own ordainer of my own destiny. I create my own future reality. I time travel through consciousness, so that by the time that my light waves reach up with that future time frame, it's exactly where I want it and exactly how I want it to be. That's real power. Not begging and praying to some sky deity and hoping that this entity is going to bless you with this and bless you with that. You are the savior that you've been waiting on. You. And I hope religious people are listening to this, because when you hear these voices in your head that you're thinking are God, and as you become more conscious and you ascend higher and higher, that voice starts to change. Eventually, you realize that that voice in your head is your voice. When you realize that the voice in your head is your voice, you've become an adept initiate. Until then, you have a lot of growing to do. The voice in your head is not coming from anywhere out there. It's coming directly from you. Anyway, guys, I said enough tonight. If you got offended, I'm not too sorry about it. Just grow up and get some tough skin and learn that you got a lot more to learn. I don't know everything. I went live today with Dr. Tara Swart, and she taught me some stuff. You know what I said? I said, Dr. Swart, this is why I love being around you, why I love talking to you, because I learn when I talk to you. I didn't go, man, how come she know that and I didn't know that? Or I didn't go, I need to show that I know more than her. I set this event up. Let me brag about what I know on top of what she's just said. No. I said, you know what, man? You know what, Dr. Swart? That's amazing. You just taught me something. Thank you. You see the difference between me and what happens in these comment feeds with these people? You see the anger and the distraught that they have? You know? You see the anger, the despair. You see it. You see it in their writing. You see how they respond to things. These are people who are supposed to be following Jesus and God. Sorry, guys. That's a fail. I'll stay on my path. I like my path better. I'm zen. I'm happy. I'm peaceful. My life is fantastic. Even when things don't go my way, I find a way. I find a way. Because I'm the Savior that I've been waiting on. I'm not waiting for anybody to save me. I'm not waiting for any deities to come down with a magic wand and go bing. And no, I'm not praying over my food and saying, oh, let this poisonous content of this food, this chicken and gravy and these waffles, let this bless my soul. No, because I'm not dumb. If I eat them chicken and waffles, I damn well know the outcome is going to be disease. We got to wake up. We're wasting energy on things that make absolutely zero sense. None. Absolutely no sense whatsoever. Stop begging some sky wizard to help you win a game or make your team win. Stop begging some sky wizard to help you pay your mortgage payment or your car payment. Instead, take that same energy and start researching some things and learn how you can get a second income. How you can generate some additional income? How can you start your own business? How can you find your passion and then find a need for that passion and fill that need so you can generate revenue, monetize your passions so you don't feel like you have to work anymore. And then your income becomes unlimited. That's what you should be doing. Stop going to the temple out there and go to the temples in here. That's where you're going to find true peace, understanding, and wisdom. Drop the ego and start learning. Instead of buying weed, instead of buying fancy cars and watches that are putting you financially stressed, invest that money in books, online courses, workshops, lectures, classes. Go on an airplane, fly around the world. That's what I would do if I were you. All right? Hey, peace, guys. I love y'all. Forbidden knowledge. I'll catch y'all later.